Tenet is the latest film from our tour director, Christopher Nolan. And it is one of the craziest films I have ever seen. And because I literally don't trust myself to explain the basis of this film without giving out spoilers, I'm just going to read the IMDb title just like every other critic in the world has done so far. Armed with only one word, Tenet, and fighting for the survival of the entire world, a protagonist journeys through a twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time. So even though we got a few trailers before this movie came out, we were still very unclear as to what this movie was actually about before going in, which I absolutely love. I love going into movies where we're given footage and still have no clue what we're getting into. Tenet was just that. All I knew going in was that Nolan was going to trip ourselves out with the concept of inversion, the idea that there are things that are going backwards in time as other things go forwards in time. That's a crazy freaking concept. But Nolan takes that concept and yeah, he does just that. He blows our freaking minds with it, and I still don't know how to process it. I'm not sure if anybody will ever be able to, if I'm being honest, besides Nolan himself. This isn't my first time recording this review. I recorded a review for this movie as soon as I got out of the first time that I saw it, and it was crazy. It was basically me just running my mouth in circles, just because my mind hurt so bad after seeing this movie. My mind was just so overblown with information that I literally could not process what I was feeling. I don't even know what I was feeling at all. This movie leaves your mind in that kind of a state where you don't know how to process it. And it requires that you see this multiple times. And the thing I love about it is that you want to see it multiple times. You want to understand this film. At least I do anyway. This is apparently Nolan's most divisive film to date. People are either loving this film or they're absolutely hating it. And then some are like right in the middle. I tend to actually mostly love this film. I do recognize some flaws with it, which I will talk about later. John David Washington plays the protagonist, and he does an amazing job at playing the blank slate character who is very, very new to everything that's going on around him. He's basically our eyes and ears into this universe, and for what he's given, John David Washington does an amazing job with this role. Upon initial viewing of this film, I didn't think this character had any real development. And on second viewing, it seems like he has a little bit of development in there, a little bit sprinkled in there, but not a whole lot. The character of Kat, played by Elizabeth Debicki, is probably the most well fleshed out character in this film, save for the character of Neil, who also may seem as one note as the protagonist at first, but upon rewatch and upon theory speculation on who this character could actually be, he becomes a much more interesting character. Debicki and Pattinson, Robert Pattinson, in their respective roles as well, also do an amazing job. Everybody does an amazing job in this film, including Kenneth Branagh, who plays a Bond-esque villain. He's this gray, grizzled Eastern European man with a very thick accent. His motivations are kind of over the top, if you ask me. But a lot of the greatest Bond villains have very over the top motivations as well. I feel like that's what Nolan was trying to tribute to that. I kind of wish that Nolan would have explained why he chose to do these outlandish things a little bit better, though. Nolan usually finds a lot of interesting ways to deliver exposition in his films that usually keep the audience interested in what he's trying to set up. Spy movies in general have to deliver a lot of exposition for their set plots, but I feel like Nolan really overcomplicated what he was trying to say. As far as plot is concerned, this movie just hits the ground running just straight out of the gate. And Nolan is just throwing so much information at you that it is very, very easy to get completely lost, and then you have to keep trying to catch up as to what is going on. This is all before the whole inversion stuff is introduced into the film. On first viewing, I was like bothered but also impressed at the same time by it. I tried really, really hard to pay attention to every single line of dialogue in the film, but the guy who I saw with like kept leaning over to me. He's like, "What do you think? What do you think?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm trying to pay attention." Luckily, on my second viewing, that wasn't a problem. And so I got to pay more attention to it. And I lasted a little bit longer. I lasted a little bit longer in regards to knowing exactly what was going on in the film. Now, when I buy this film on Blu-ray, I'm going to watch this film with subtitles every single time until I know exactly what the hell is going on, how everything works to a T, and then I'll be good. Then I'll have fully mastered this film. And the thing I love the most about saying that is that this is a film that I want to do that too. I want to understand this film. I love films like this. I like films that you have to see it more than once. This is definitely in the veins of Blade Runner and 2001: A Space Odyssey and stuff like that. The action in this film is absolutely revolutionary. I've never seen fight choreography that looks this crazy in my life. I really wish Nolan would have shot his Dark Knight trilogy with choreography that looked this good. I would totally agree with the statement that this film is a technical marvel to behold. It probably is Nolan's biggest film. It is definitely his most complex. I admire his ambition. I really do. But I hope for his next one and for a couple of films going into it, I really hope that he just pumps the brakes just a little bit. He's starting to get a little bit pretentious, I feel. I do enjoy this film more than Inception, though. I actually feel like Inception may be a bit more pretentious. If I ever decide to do a review for Inception, I'll talk about that in that review. But, yeah. Ludwig Göransson has really outdone himself. This is my favorite score that he's ever produced. That includes Black Panther and The Mandalorian. This score is just awesome. At least as far as production goes. As far as sound mixing goes, that's where it starts to become a little bit of a problem for me. Nolan's kind of had a bit of a pattern coming with his past films, and that is that his mixing is so loud. His sound mixing for the score is just so loud that it completely makes it so you can't hear a damn thing that the characters are saying. And as for a film that is so complex as this, where you're trying to follow every single line of dialogue, because every single dialogue is important, that can really get you lost. And it got me lost the first time, and even the second time. Like I said, I gotta keep watching this movie more and more just to fully understand what the hell is going on in the movie. Overall, yeah, I don't think this is Nolan's best film per se, but it is freaking amazing. And I highly recommend that you check this one out in theaters, because if you don't see this film in theaters, you are going to regret it. I'm going to give Tenet an A-. Tell me what you guys thought of this film. I know it is very, very divisive right now. And I just want to know what everybody that I know, whoever, like everybody, I just want to know what everybody thinks in my inner circle of people. I know a few people who love it already. I know a few people who hate it. And yeah, I just want to compare. I just want everybody to just debate about this movie. I love when a movie like this comes around. I meant to say comes around. I don't know how to talk. Anyways, you guys, I should hopefully have a review out for Mulan this weekend. Look forward to that. Please like and sub, and have a nice one.